Hi guys, thank you for watching our Rental Explorer. Have any of you thinking of going to Japan for working holiday? Well, actually, there are different ways of enjoying that 1 year of holiday. Sometimes people would go to resorts, ski resorts in particular, very popular, and sometimes people would rent an apartment and just work in the city. Well, sometimes, like I'm doing now, is that we find a guest house or hostel and work there for with no pay, but for free accommodation. They usually provide you with a dormitory bed, but some hostels, they do provide you a room, a small room, and so it depends on each of the hostel. So what I want to talk about today is what you should think about before thinking about if it's suitable for you to be a free accommodation helper in Japan. So let's go. Remember, don't stop exploring. So first thing to consider when finding a helper job is the location. Where do you want to stay? Do you want to stay in the city center or the more quiet areas? What kind of attractions do you want it to be near? Is it convenient for you to shop around? And all of those are really important factors. Second thing, really important too, is the work hours. So a lot of hostels, they have different job duties. So in the morning you clean, and in the night you help people check in and out on a shift. Well, the one I work at is a bit different. We only need to do the cleaning part, and the check-in and out is handled by Japanese staff or the owner himself. And so that helps to provide us more free time to explore around, which was really great. And a lot of the other helpers in our guest house would find part-time jobs, and that's given you have enough time to stay. If you stay for more than a month, usually you can get a part-time job somewhere, and so obviously that's a little bit of extra income and experience. The number three factor, which I think you must consider, is whether you like talking to people and do you want to practice Japanese. So if you want to practice Japanese, you might want to pick a hostel which is more targeted to Japanese customers. And you can kind of tell from their websites and their style and all that. And also depends if that hostel has a communal area. Some guest houses, they only have rooms and doesn't have a common area where people can socialize, and that means that you won't have a chance to interact with others. So that's one of the consideration as well. Also, you mustn't forget whether you are traveling on a budget. So some people on work holiday, they travel on a really tight budget or no budget at all. Well, free accommodation helper might be for you. Some of them provide free rice and obviously a rice cooker for you to use, so you can just cook the dishes and pair it with rice, and you get have your dinner and lunch, which is really way of budget living in Japan. And also another thing is some guest houses, they provide bikes for their helpers, and if you have bikes, sometimes you can get around a lot easier, and it's a lot cheaper than for you to travel around. So you do want to look into whether they provide bikes and whatever food resources like seasoning and rice and all that. A quick tip about cooking. So you do want to check out the gyomu super or the business supermarkets, because they do sell a lot of cheap stuff, and just go explore. Sometimes the Lawson 100 yen shops or 100 yen convenience store has some really nice deals, especially at night when it's about to close. So another note about thinking of being an accommodation helper is to think about whether you're suitable in living with others, especially if you won't get your personal room. Can you sleep well if you live with others? That's a really big problem. Also, you might want to apply early so that you get the hostel or the guest house you want. Otherwise, your options may be limited. But after all, the tourism industry is booming in Japan, and there are a lot of guest houses you can pick from, especially in the big cities. Last, so how do I apply? That might be a question. Well, you might need to know some Japanese, but actually a lot of hostels provide information in English too. You just search online the city you want to go. For example, I searched Kyoto and put helper. Sometimes you could put free accommodation. Just put a combination of the keywords and see what you get. Just look into the pages and make sure you read the details because you do want to know the details. Alright guys, that's all. I hope you all the best in finding the perfect experience for you in Japan.